RJ Watts back with another video for you guys, and I know you guys was enjoying the 3-2 zone defensive setup tutorial video. Now it was not too much of a deep intel video. Mainly I was just showing you a little bit of the ropes around my defensive settings and on the 3-2 zone that I run. Now that video was based upon running against AIs, right? Now the one thing is I will make another video in regards to when using it in a online, versus somebody else, because it can be very different when playing AIs because how they react compared to playing a typical person online, where you're just going through a bunch of the settings and just showing you guys why people use the setting that they use. Now I can make another video on top of this that can show you in game as to what happens behind these settings. So make sure you guys comment below if you guys want to see that. Also hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the content. I really appreciate you guys. We're pushing the 2,500. We're pushing the 3K subs. So let's keep that grind going, consistency. I just want to show you guys the best and to make you guys the best you can be. So without further ado, we get into the game action here. So pretty much a lot of people go straight out the gate. So everything is set automatically, right? Some leave it on automatic, but you have to realize automatic is easier to use when it comes to AIs compared to automatic having it to be using against online competitive play. Now a lot of people go straight to straight to tight defense. Now the one thing about tight defense is they give them a little bit of space, but they don't pretty much. So the reason why I say this, you have to listen. Like I said, I can show you guys the differences between all of these, because you do have the first option, which is smothered. Smothered meaning that they're on them like glue, like, you know what I'm saying? They're on them like glue. Now that can be a good thing and that can also be a bad thing. And the reason why I say that, smothered defense, with the player smothering the ball, it can help the defensive player step up onto the offensive player in a fashionable, quickly manner. Now the one thing about it is, if you're playing smothered defense, you can get blowed by a lot, because with you being so tight, all it takes is one simple mistake and he's going straight to the rim with a lane, easy bucket. So that's why some people play tight defense, because they give them a little bit of gap space to be right there on them, but to be able to get back and forth and play defense with it as well. So some people do smothered, some people do tight. I do smothered depending on the situation of who I am playing, but if I know that I'm playing man to man, sometimes I might have to go tight. Now you do have moderate, of course. They're in the middle. They're not really playing too much tight defense. Now the one thing I would say is, doing these settings for all your players, it's a hit or miss, right? Because at the end of the day, it depends on who your opponent is using. So say for instance, let me show you guys where it really does matter. If you actually go and just, you can, this is the coach settings for the whole team. If you actually just press RB, let's focus on specific players. Like let's say for instance, Luka Doncic. Now let's say if somebody had a Luka Doncic at the one Galaxy Opal, that is, right? That's because he's out. So with Luka Doncic, knowing that he can shoot the three, I would not give him no moderate space. I want to play either smothered or tight. I'm not gonna play smothered because Luka Doncic is not that much of an athletic player, so he's not gonna like go crazy dunking on her at the rim. So that's why playing somebody with a Luka Doncic, I'm going to give him tight on ball pressure. Off ball pressure, I'm not going to give him no gap space. I'm not gonna leave him. I'm not gonna play moderate. I'm going to play tight, meaning that my focus is Luka is a shooter. You don't want to leave shooters open. You don't want to give space. This is for man-to-man defense, by the way. Now we'll get into talking about 3-2 zone in another video, but this is in regards to, say if you're playing man-to-man. You don't want to give Luka no space whatsoever. Now force direction, you can leave it on auto, but sometimes this does work too, because you can force your player baseline, or you can force your player to the middle of the bucket. Meaning that if you're doing that, you're leaving options for allowing for the paint penetration, which opens up passing lanes and rotations. So you have to realize, looking at the positives on this thing, is good to use if your teammates are in a gap coverage on the perimeter. 9 times out of 10, a lot of players are not going to play gap coverage, so force them to the middle is not going to be worth it. So baseline is probably your beneficial standpoint, because the positives, it limits shooting and passing angles. So the only thing about the baseline is this gives straight line drop to the rim. Now you can cut off a rim run and bait it a little bit. If you know how to bait, then you know what time it is. So with Luka Doncic, I'm not really worried about him doing any of that, so I'm just gonna leave that on auto. Now, this is where things gets very tricky when it comes to hedge. So hedge meaning that when a player is setting a screen, what does the defensive player do when they're sticking Luka? So normally you want to go with the hard hedge. It depends because like you can go with a soft hedge, but the only thing in regards to that is the hedge man slows down the ball carrier, but it does not stop him. So if he's going to the rim off the screen instead of just kicking it out for the pick and pop, then he's not going to be able to react and catch up to him. But it's definitely great to use if the screener can score and the ball carrier is a driving threat. So soft hedge is not so much of that situation. Of course, now if you're going hard hedge, this limits the ball carrier driving and shooting opportunities. So a lot of people go hard hedge when it comes to like switching on defense because that opponent does step up and he kind of like cuts him off at an angle so that way he can't go around the screen if it's a pick and roll or a pick and pop. And then the opponent that's guarding the person that's setting the pick, they're on the opposite side as well, being ready to try to bait that catch on that pass. So you do have a lot of situations that can set you up for greatness when it comes to using hedge defense. Now on ball on the screen here, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes if you go over, if you go over the screen, it's great to use against shooters. So of course, when it comes to Luka, I want to get over that screen ASAP because I want to be able to react, get in front of him so he won't get that shot that he wants. Like I said, Luka's not a person to just go over the screen and go dunk the ball driving to the rim. So Luka's gonna look for that nice pull-up jump shot at the end of the day. A lot of people do switch because when it comes to switch defense, a lot of people have Hall of Fame clamps in this game now. So you can definitely do switch defense and just be great man to man. But if you're good with controlling your on ball defense to off ball, listen to me, if you're good with switching to man and you're playing on ball for a little bit to switch to off ball a little bit, you'll be in good hands with switching the defense or even going over. You just have to be able to react to the switch of the defense, reacting to the other player, stepping up, stepping back, try to bait the pass or try to bait the shot. A lot of things like stay attached mainly limits the success off the pick and pop. So when they do set that pick and pop, they're not gonna drop back all the way. They're gonna be right there, tight space defense. So that way they can be there to try to get that attempt to stop the ball. Posting. Now I've been looking at this a lot more lately. When it comes to post defense, of course, if you front it, you give up the position for the rebound. But sometimes this can be beneficial. Say for instance, if you got like a tall position player like Manute Bol or a Bowman, and you got a center out there like Cat, or you got somebody that's like shorter than them guys, you can either play the front to try to stop them from getting it in the post. Because what happens is if they throw it to the post while you're in front, you can either get that steal easily, or what's going to happen is they have to throw it over the top of Cat so that way Manute can catch it. And then you'll have another player that you can set to try to bait that steal and come up and try to get him and cut. So pretty much pinching him is what I'm saying. So say for instance, if Cat's right here and Manute Bol's right here and they throw the ball over Cat and Manute, you have another player on this side that you can bring over and step up and try to cut him off or get the steal. So that way you'll be in position. It's like baiting. You can either send him halfway, because if you send him halfway and you're showing that you're going to try to help, just go back real quick. Because when they catch the ball, sometimes the first mindset is they're going to press A. And as soon as they press A and they don't have the ball yet, you're going to be already in position to get that steal. Because once you trigger A and they don't have the ball yet, it automatically passes it anyway. So there's ways of looking at front on the post and being behind, 3 or 4 on the top as well. Like I said, I can explain a lot more of that if you guys want to hear in regards to that. Double team, I mainly leave on manual. I'm not too big on a double team because double team is you're easily able to read the double teams. And when you do that, you set yourself up for failure, because if they're knocking down shots and you got a double team coming, just be careful. Unless you got good bait game, then that's different. I leave pre-rotate off because it never works. Screen help rules. Now this is one that we all kind of put no help on, because the AIs react so goofy when it comes to screen help. That is so easily able to read. You're easily able to get a shot off. So we tend to use no help, and the reason why we do no help is because we manually control our players. So people be like, yo, you just off-balling. No, we on-ball to off-ball, because at the end of the day, the AIs do not know how to react of your mindset, how you want them to react. So you have to control every player on the court as much as you can to make them react. Extended pressure. Now this is a big one. This is a big one that I love using. extended pressure, and I wish I knew about this in the 250K tournament when I was in it, but I really didn't look too much into the defense until like a little bit down the line. Extended pressure is definitely great in certain circumstances. For shooters, for people that's trying to spam peekaboos, extended pressure plays that tight defense that you want to be aggressive. Because at the end of the day, you give a little bit of space, that's in your face. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. You know, whether if it's especially Dwayne Wade with the ball. Everybody love that D Wade. That's the one with the peekaboo. So you got to give him that extended pressure, and have the help side with a little bit. Throw a hard hedge with extended pressure for the peekaboos, but you gotta know how to be able to control it. Because at the end of the day, people just want threes with D Wade, especially off the peekaboo. So extended pressure, I love doing this, especially in situations where I know I can play tight defense. Because I know how to play on-ball defense to my zone. So this definitely does help me out. Also extended pressure helps out for, say for instance, you got the wings are standing like deep on the hash, far, and they can shoot those limitless range shots. You can throw extended pressure so that way your players can just be right there. You want your players to be right there to give them no space. Because like I said, you give them space, it's in your face. So I just want you guys to know, man, this is just a little bit talks on defensive setup, game plan, in depth into what you should really do. So I would definitely say, just realize if you ever go to your defensive settings and you start from here, you're telling all your players to do that. Now I know you don't got that much time when it comes to online play to control every single player and think about every single thing you want to do. So my thing is this: if you ever go into a game time situation and you like, man, I know that his focus is Ben Simmons. Let's say for instance they got this team. His focus is Ben Simmons rim running, or a Dwayne Wade peekabooing, or a pull up three cheesing shot. You can go to those players that you see that he's doing that with and throw some different type of situational defensive tips on him. That way you know what time it is. And I really appreciate you guys. This is your boy RJ Watt signing off for this video. Hey, thank you guys. Hit the like button if you always new. And if you're coming through, showing some love, hit the subscribe. You know how we rocking, you know how we do, man. This is your boy. Until next time, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video.